So at this point, we're going into a day-to-day life for me. Let's begin. So I go to the refrigerator, get my meds, and get everything out. And this has been my life every day since August of 2017 until now, February 2018. Like, you guys don't understand how much goes into remembering to do everything correctly, from wiping to the dosage, remembering to give yourself shots. And this last one right here was so painful. My stomach is bloated, it's swollen, like literally just feeling like a human pincushion. The pain of having to do this, but knowing what comes with it. So the question everyone has right now is, can you guys have kids? Well, we're going to answer that. Being so afraid at times, not knowing if I could answer that, but coming to the point where we can answer that. Can you have kids? Will you be able to have kids? Are you going to have kids? It's something I ask myself for the past 4.5 years. Will we? Can we? Am I? Is my prayer working? Are these shots good enough? Am I good enough? Is it going to be okay? Well, everyone had this question. I've had this question. My husband has this question still and had this question. I guess it's time to just go ahead and question that question. The big question. Can we have kids?
¿Qué pasa?
Cliché.
Anyways, so as you can tell by the title, can we have kids? Obviously, you guys seen like few minutes of this chit chat of what I have to go through, and mind you, I have to do those shots, and I've been doing them since like August. I've been doing them since August of 2017, and it is every day. We added like a new shot to it, so in blood work every day. It's just a lot that goes into it. So just to get right into the chit chat, for our new subscribers, welcome to our channel. Obviously, you guys seen the intro. This is AJ. I'm Yasmin, and we're gonna give you guys like a kind of little backstory, because it's been a few vlogs since we've actually added in the fertility stuff. So for the newcomers, me and AJ have known each other since we was 7 in elementary school, and things kind of went on and off, on and off. Finally fell into a relationship. We've been together for 5 years. This year of August will mark 3 years of us being married. We've been trying to conceive. We did back in December 28th of 2014 and lost it. Shortly after, we tried to start our journey of trying to conceive a child. After that, going through multiple months of negatives and my period showing up, and then
That Depo shot.
the Depo shot, which I got on because I had ovarian cysts during the time, and we thought like, okay, if we take a break and we do this and everything is gonna be okay. So I did one shot, and that shot tore my body up. I was so sick, like just throwing up, not really having an appetite. My stomach was hurting, like just different symptoms. I had every symptom you can think of except for my hair wasn't falling out. Then it started. It started coming out. So then I ended up cutting my hair completely off and starting all over again. And then we started with the fertility journey because we were very concerned as to, okay, we're young, we're trying. I'm telling you, I was doing like the body temperature, the different apps, headstands, putting my legs up, trying to keep everything up there. Like we were trying everything, like everything. What else did I do? Like eating certain things, trying to eat differently, like adding certain lubricants, and it was just like nothing was really happening. So I end up going to the doctor, and when I went to the primary care doctor, she was kind of nasty to me. I kind of brought up the idea of like, hey, can we go through the whole fertility checkup so that we can get started, because I think something is wrong, something is not right. She's like, and she came in, she's pregnant, she's about 8.5 months pregnant. I went in by myself, and AJ's out in the car. He's like, you know, I'm gonna come and pick you up. So I'm sitting there talking to her, and I'm texting him to say, hey babe, this is what room I'm in. And she looks at me and she's like, you need to put your phone away and you need to give me eye contact and look at me. Mind you, at that point she wasn't even talking, she was on her computer. I'm not gonna right in your face, you know what I'm saying, if you're talking to me. So I'm like, first off, I'm talking to my husband because he's coming to pick me up. Like in my mind, I'm like, I don't owe you an explanation, I don't have to tell you shit, and I don't have to get off my phone. Like, this is my phone, I'm going to do what I need to do. So she's like, well, you don't need any fertility, and I'm not sending you to anybody. You're young. What are you in a rush for? What do you want a kid for anyways? She was like, so you guys can just try and come back in June or July. If it doesn't happen, then I'll think about sending you. So I'm pissed off, and I'm just like, a lot of y'all in this field, y'all are very disgusting when it comes to communication. I'm like, but whatever, I'm going to go to a different doctor. So she had an attitude, she left out. I got in the car with AJ, and I'm explaining everything to him. At this point, I was just devastated because I'm like, yo, this is not going to happen for us. Like, we're not going to get it. I just want to know, is there something wrong with me? Because I would go to the, like, we would try, and I had terrible periods, like ovarian cyst ruptures every month. And it was one last time where we went to the hospital and they did a pregnancy test. And I'm like, we've been trying so hard. Like, literally, I'm not even gonna lie. It was 1 month where we had sex every day except for like maybe 6 days out of that day because he went to the field. We had sex every day, 6 to 10 times a day. And so I'm like, it has to, like, no, I'm being serious because this is a serious topic. I'm like, this has to work. This is how extreme it's been. Like, you guys are questioning us and you're like, maybe you're not doing enough. We did a lot. So when I went to the hospital and in the ambulance, they were like, you know, have you been trying? I'm like, yeah. And we start talking about it. So we get to the hospital and they're just like, oh yeah, we're going to go ahead and get you a pain medicine, yada, yada. So I'm like, what about the pregnancy test? Oh, it's negative, and just kept going. But it was like, the way they said it to me was so personal. And in my mind, I'm like, how can I tell him? So we were sitting there together, and he looked at me, and he started thinking, he was like, his own self, he was just like, I think something's wrong. Like, can you have kids? What if you can't have kids? And I would get angry, and I'd be like, don't say that. Like, why would you say that? Because as a woman, growing up, like, speaking for my behalf, you dream about having your own family, your own kids, getting married. Like, this is like, to me, I felt like I'm born to be a mother. Like, I have it in me, it's there, this is a desire, it is a dream I dream about day and night. We got names picked out. I'm like, what is the problem? So we're talking about it more in depth, and he's questioning it, and now I'm like, damn, well, can I have kids? Like, I'm telling him that I can because I get a period, and I'm thinking, yo, you get a period, this is the obvious, like, you can have kids, you got eggs. And that's not the case. So when that happened, we decided to kind of take a step further and be serious. So I started picking up the phone, and I'm calling people myself, and I'm Googling stuff, and God spoke to my soul that day. And lo and behold, in this thread, these people, not even stationed where I am, I didn't even know that they were military. They start talking about this one doctor at Womack Hospital, because we're stationed here in Bragg. And Womack is our hospital that we go to. And they start talking about this doctor named Dr. Parker. And they're talking about Dory and this person and that person. And lo and behold, and this thread was about 7 years old. They have a number on that thread. And that number still works. So I'm like, this is God, babe. This is it. Like, we're getting in there. I'm so excited. And she's like, look, I'm going to set you up with this doctor. You guys can do a workup. And then you call me back when this workup is done. So I ended up in the hospital again. And they connected me with this doctor. This doctor was the only doctor, this female doctor, who connected me with another female doctor who was saying, we're going to help you. Something has to be wrong. You're right. We're going to listen to you. These are red flags. If you guys been trying to wait over a year, you definitely need to come in and check us out. So if it wasn't for me going to the hospital and Googling stuff, we would have never met any of these doctors. So we went in for a meeting. We did all our workup, and the worst test that I've ever went through was the HSG test. When I say whatever dye they use, I was vomiting. Like, I was in pain. I couldn't walk. On the verge of passing out. Ended up in the emergency room. And this is just kind of like, this is not even everything we've been through. But we've been trying for 5 years. 4 or 5 years. And this is like, this has been constant that we've been doing this. Like, we didn't even luck up until last year of finding these numbers after all this heavy trying and heavy lifting ourselves. So then he went through his testing, and at this point we're thinking, yo, like, everything is all good. Like, we got it. You know, all the tests are coming back awesome, except for they was like, you know, his number is low. And we're like, well, we had sex a lot that day. So he was like, okay, that makes sense. So we had a scare there, but they're still like, your numbers are popping. Everything's good. I got 4 eggs. We do our first IUI, and I'm like, yo, we got it. Like, we're so excited. I'm like, I can't believe we're about to be parents. And then nothing. It was negative. We went through 6 IUIs. We're on number 6 right now as we speak. We went through 6. The other 5 has been negative. This last time, I say to the doctor, so instead of the doctors being like, y'all been through already enough, we need to figure out what's really going on, because they keep saying mystery infertility. We got to figure out something. So no one ever came to us. So I look at them and I say, look, let me do this one last test, because I heard about it. I talked about it. I'm talking to AJ. I'm like, let's do a morphology. Morphology is when they check the shape of the sperm to see if they're normal. And learning all this stuff, we learned there's a lot that goes into having a kid. It's not just you have sex and boom. It's like timing. You only got 12 to 38 hours. After that, you can't. You got to wait a whole nother month. Like, we done learned everything. So I'm like, let's do this morphology test, because this test can tell us something. And if in my mind I'm telling AJ and I'm thinking to myself, to God, I'm like, we've been praying so much, we've been trying so much. I'm not just praying, but I'm walking and I'm doing stuff. I'm taking all these shots. I'm getting sick. I'm not worried about anything. Like, I'm pushing myself to the limit, and I'm to the point now where I'm ready to throw my hands up. Like, I'm seeing everybody else getting pregnant, having multiple kids, younger people than us having kids, and I'm like, God, what is wrong with us? Like, what do we do? Why is it not happening for us? What's going on? And I'm crying every time it's negative, and I'm feeling bad for him, because I know the conversations we have and how deep it is for him. So I'm like, I'm just feeling defeated. I'm feeling like, you know, when you feel like you can't have a kid, or it's not happening for you as a woman, you feel worthless. Like, what am I to my husband if I can't bring a child in this world? Like, I'm not a woman. I'm just a human with woman body parts that don't function. So I'm like, I'm disgusted, I'm depressed, and I was just at my end. So we decided to go through with this test. And with this test, if they're not normal, if your sperm isn't normal, the egg will reject it because it's not going to create a child from that. It needs all correct DNA, all 23 chromosomes in order for it to work and for a child to come into the world. So we did a morphology test, and the second day of this IUI, she finally called back, which it took 2 weeks, and was like, for a normal couple, and this is how she started. She said, for a normal couple, morphology is anywhere from 5 to 15%. She was like, what's best is 10 to 15. And with that number, you have 15 to 25% chance of conceiving without our help. And then with our help, you have about 25 and up chance of conceiving. So your husband's test results came back. And do you want to tell them?
Alright, so basically what the lady said is, what a whole lot of people don't know is, I used to have seizures, so I take seizure medicine and all these other medicines so that does not happen. So basically these medicines that I've been taking has basically affected my body in a weird way to where I've missed like a lot of vitamins I've been taking out of my body. So my sperm, they're shaped weird. So she basically explained it like this to me. She's like, so your body's missing a whole bunch of vitamins. So your sperms are shaped weird. Some of them are too big, some of them are too small. They gotta be perfect. So every time they meet your wife's eggs reject them because, you know, they're not, like she said, the right shape or the right size. So she's like, basically, there's these things that you need to start doing. So it's either A, I stop taking this medicine, which is gonna which is preventing me from having seizures. Yeah, back to what I was saying. So it's either I stop taking this medicine, which is preventing me from having seizures, and reach the chance of it happening to where I might lose my life. So she's just like, so there's this other solution which she brought up to my wife, which is called the IVF. Now the IVF, basically it takes out eggs from her. Go ahead, because I really don't know how to explain it. So
because he missed the part. So basically his number, mind you, I said that for a normal couple, their morphology, which means the shape of their sperm, is at a certain percentage, which is 10 is good, so 10 to 15 or 5 to 15. His is at a 2%, which means that out of about 5 to 15% of his sperm, only 2% is normal. So if we continue to do IUIs, which that's the reason why they haven't been working. If we continue to do IUIs, or if we did it natural, we only have about a 5% chance of conceiving versus other people who have a 15 to 25% chance of conceiving. So they said the best route to take is IVF. IVF is in vitro fertilization, and basically
virtualized.
So basically what they do is of course I will up my medicine dosage and it will be more medicine, but I'll create a lot more eggs than what I have been, which I've been creating 3 to 4 eggs. So I will create about 10 good follicles, and they have to be from about an 18 to a 24 size. They will then put me to sleep, and they'll take the eggs out of my body. He will give us a sample of semen. They will go through all the normal wash and all that stuff and find the good normal shaped ones and the fast ones. and they will place those directly into the egg. They will let them basically grow for about 5 days. We'll go back in. They'll insert them back into me and wait for the implantation stage to take place. So in order for us right now to be able to go through IVF, which the military, anyone that's in the military, you guys know, for the ones that's not, military does not pay for that. They pay for the medicine part of it, which is not that much. But when it comes to the actual procedure that we're needing to be done, which is taking out the eggs and etc., it's about $8,000. So what we did was set up a GoFundMe. I'm gonna insert the picture here. And the GoFundMe only says $9,000 because GoFundMe takes out a good chunk of the money. It's not free, you have to pay. They take out a lot of the donation percentage, a lot of it, and a huge percentage of it, in order, I guess, to get money off of allowing us to use it. So that's why I put $9,000 and not exactly $8,000, because if we put $8,000, they're gonna take out a good amount. We're not gonna have the amount that we need, and it's exactly $8,000 for us to do this procedure. So at the end of the video, I'm gonna have all the information where you guys can go and check out our GoFundMe account on my page or my husband's page, and donate.
The hardest thing that I think in life that I basically experienced.
In the video.
Oh, no.
I was just saying that part.
The hardest thing that, like, I say, not just me, but both of us I experienced is knowing that we was pregnant and we lost that child. Because, again, life is funny, but then again, it's not. When we was younger, I used to say a whole bunch of times, oh, I didn't want kids yet. But it's like, as I grow through, I just start, like, now to me, it bothers me a lot when I see, like, people just run around with their kids. They're just so happy, they're holding their kids, doing all these little, like, crazy fun things. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, damn, man, like, are we gonna be able to ever, like, experience that? There's been plenty of times where I just, like, hate just going outside, because I know for a fact if I go outside, I'm gonna see somebody with their kids. Like, that to me it's a blessing. And I see nowadays a whole bunch of people doing all these nasty stuff, terrible things to their kids, beating them, tying them up, trying to suffocate them and killing them. Just like, damn, like, these kids, like, you guys are doing all these things to, they was not asked to be here. Y'all knew exactly what y'all was doing for them to get here. So to me, it's just like, y'all have this blessing while others are actually struggling. And it's not just me. I know basically a whole lot of people that go through this. So I'm just saying, like, to me personally, I never thought I was actually be at the end of this stick per se, but it does suck a lot, because for 4 years, we've been trying. And it's like, the more that we're trying, like, our hopes would be like, yeah, we know it's gonna happen. And then when it doesn't happen, it's just like, it just starts knocking you down. So you just like, damn, and you start giving up. Even when you try to be positive, it's hard, because, at the end of the day, like, my wife, she knows how her body is. Like, if she is pregnant, she would tell you that she's pregnant.
I can tell. If my period is coming, I will tell you, like, 2 weeks before my period comes, like, nah, babe, it didn't work. And he'll be like,
arguing her down.
It worked this time. And I'll be like, AJ, no, it's not. Like, I can feel it in my body. So I already, like, so by the time that I know, because I know my body, I already went through the whole stage of being depressed and upset and like, all right, it's all out the window. So I'm already there. I've been through it. So by the time he figures it out, and obviously it's the first day of my period, he's going through, like, now he's questioning, he's hurt, and he's upset. And for me, I'm more of the more like pick me up, positive one. Let's keep pushing. For him, it's more like I'm taking it personal. I just got shot. You gotta give me a minute. And I try to be as humble about it as possible. I'm gonna be humble about it, period. That's not gonna go out the window. Like, I'm very thankful for even being able to go through this stuff and even get the answers that we needed. Like, honestly, like I was telling my husband, I was so angry, and I was angry because I did not know. I didn't understand. I didn't get it. And I was blaming myself and angry. And I'm not gonna lie, when you're going through stuff like this, you're gonna be jealous, and it's gonna be, you're gonna have envy because other people have something that is like, I'm going through all this stuff and I'm not getting it. Like, for me, from my point of view, having to go through all these shots in my stomach and getting a shot in my bottom and all these different hormones in my body and different things, like even one of the medicine we learned has other stuff in it, not just hormones. And I'm like, I'm sticking all this inside of me, and I'm doing all this stuff. I'm going through all this pain. I'm getting sick. All these symptoms I'm having, and getting blood drawn, ultrasound after ultrasound. I'm like, damn, like, what do I have to do? Like, I feel like I'm on the edge right now. Like, what's next? Like, I felt like I had jumped a few times, but it's still not happening. So,
especially like the thing that's so worse about it is being worked up. Like, when I'm saying being worked up, it's like every time we get these tests done, like everything is normal. Like, she would have 4 eggs. They'll be healthy eggs. I'll be having like 50 something million like sperm and all this other extra shit. Like,
and we're like,
yes,
it's gonna happen. We're getting twins this month, and then I feel it. And I be trying to tell him, but then the period come and he's like, damn. And I'm like, yo, I'm about to stop praying. Like, am I not praying right? What's going on?
It's like, this is just like one thing. I don't know if like other guys that go through it, but me personally, it's like, when it comes to family, like, I'm big on family. Like, I love kids. I raised my nieces and my nephews. I love kids. So I can't wait to have my own. And the thing that's just so crazy about it is, it's like, when I sleep, this one dream that I always remember. There's this little girl, there's this little boy. And I always see them. But the thing is, it's like every time I wake up, I'm just like, hey man, we gonna have twins. It's gonna be 2 boys, 2 girls, or a boy and a girl. She be like, no. We play around sometimes, be like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like triplets, it's gonna be like 4 of them. But it's like,
we don't be playing around. We say it because I create 3 and 4 eggs. And 2, 3, 4 at a time. It's never been just one egg. It's always been multiple eggs. So that's why when we go through it that month, I be saying it. But now I kind of feel like, because we know what the issue is, and like, now it's like I'm a little bit more comfortable. I'm now like, okay, God, now you're talking to me. Now I know what to focus on and what to really pray and give my energy to. It's like, okay, obviously our prayers are being heard and they're being answered because you gave this to us. We could have kept going through all these IUIs not knowing what the problem was. So now, not only is our next step IVF, but it's like, if we can't come up with that money, I really don't know what will happen if we can't do IVF. That's kind of why I reached out to everyone with the whole GoFundMe page. But as far as him, like, we started him ourselves, started up on multivitamins to try to get everything together in his body. I pray, detox. We pray every single day, with problems, without problems. We pray day in, day out, all the time, constantly. Like, that's not gonna change regardless of what's handed to us. But then I also tomorrow have my fertility checkup, because as I said, they're giving us this last IUI, which is our last one, to go in tomorrow, do blood work and ultrasound. And I'm just gonna talk to them, because I know it's another couple on here that I watched called Gay Babe TV. It's Gabe and her husband Chad. I watched them and the story that they kind of went through to get their daughter. Congratulations, by the way. To get their daughter, I watched their story, and their story is similar to ours because you don't hear a lot of male infertility. You always see it fall on the woman, and so for the men, it's kind of like, oh, I want to help you. What do we need to do? And they gave me answers like they went to urology and it's a surgery that you can do, or it's medicine and stuff that you can do, and hope that the medicine works first. But it's like for a woman, everyone in the whole entire society and the whole village, when I say village, I mean family, like they're ready to beat up on the woman. Like, it's your fault. You're the cause of it. You're worthless. You're the problem. And if you can't do this for your husband, you don't deserve to be married. I've even had people inbox me, and it kind of pissed me off, but I understand it's coming from a good place. But before anyone knew anything, because we're giving this to you guys first, we didn't tell nobody on Facebook. You guys are the first ones to hear the whole entire fertility thing in depth, even with the new diagnosis with my husband. So I had people inbox me like, I can be your surrogate. You know, if you need somebody to carry the baby, I'll carry the baby for you. Like, why don't you just adopt kids? And I'm looking at them like, yo, I'm trying to step on a good foot. You being a nail in my foot right now. Like, chill out. Like, you're making assumptions because you feel like woman, let's attack her. But don't, like, when someone's been trying for this long and going through so much, the last thing I want to hear is for another woman to come at me and be like, oh, adopt, or check me, especially, and it's a woman that has kids, check me and be like, yo, I can have your baby. Like, come on, sis, you don't do that.
Me personally, I've never actually seen another woman go up to a married couple and just be like, hey,
I have the message.
I will have, your husband's kids and carry it for y'all.
But this is the thing. They're like, you can take your egg and his sperm, basically being a surrogate, your egg, his sperm, place it in me. And I'm like, yo, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, you don't even know the whole story. So, I mean, if that's something that you want to do, it's a way to go about that and to word that. But don't jump the gun and start shooting at the mouth at me. Like, that, so many people said it, and I didn't take it, like, I didn't verbally say anything about it the hard way, but I took it the hard way because as a woman, everything that you've been through, everything that you're going through, and it's like, damn. You don't even know the story for you to come at me and be like, yo, let me hold your eggs, let me carry your baby because you can't do it. You don't know what's going on back here. So pipe down a little bit, just calm down, get the whole tea in the pot, and then we can go from there. But
anyway, so that's kind of some of the gist of what's going on. So it's nothing wrong at all. It's just things. Well, all right. Well, y'all know what I'm trying to say. It's just like some things, like things happen, and you just gotta try to move on from it. So that's basically it. So right now, I can honestly tell you, doing this video right now for me is actually really uncomfortable because, like, actually just speaking on this for a man, it's just like, damn. Like, I know for females too it's hard, but for a man, if you can't actually provide sperm for your your wife to have kids, like, it's like, damn, dude, like, step your shit up. So I mean, yeah, I know it's not my fault, but it's still kind of hard though, like, knowing that you are the reason why you guys have not had kids and you didn't even know it this whole time. So you just think it was just because it was missed times or because of like other things, but where you like the main focus, now it's just like, damn, now you gotta detox your body and all this other extra stuff just
in hopes that it pulls
through. And we don't even know if, like, with all this vitamins and all this shit taking probably work. If that don't work, then it's like the next option basically is like you got to go through surgery. And
even with his surgery, like, we still have to go through
the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's
basically going in a damn circle all back over until, you know, one day you escape that loop. So that's right now what we trying to do is escape that loop.
Escape the loop.
Yeah, so if you do donate, thank you. If you don't, again, thank you for watching.
Yeah, you guys can, like, if it's just $1, if it's $2, $5, whatever, everything adds up, everything counts, everything matters. We would really appreciate any and everybody that donate, even the ones who just want to pray with us and they don't have it. We appreciate it, even if it's 50 cents. Like, everything counts, you guys. And again, if it's a money thing and you can't do it, you can always just go on one of our pages and just hit the share button and share it to everyone that's connected with you on your social media and just get the word out, because a lot of people that's going through the TTC journey understands exactly what I'm going through, and it is not an easy one, you guys. Like, growing up, you think that it's just so easy. Pop, pop, boom, 1 + 1 = 2. And it's not the case. Like, we literally are going from A to Z, M squared plus AB, like a lot. It's stressful, it's depressing, your feelings get crumbled up in the midst of it all. Your mind gets lost, you get lost in it. And honestly, like, we try to sum everything up in the whole entire video, but again, we've been trying for about 4 years. So just think about everything that we said, but every single day. You know how many days that is? 4 years. How many days that is? That's how much of this we've been going at it. How much of doing fertility and doing this we've been putting into it, and getting negatives and bad talk. Even my husband getting bad talk, saying that he's not a man, and just other stupid stuff. Like,
man,
it's not easy, you guys.
But so there you guys go. That's it.
That's what we're going through. That was the big medical diagnosis that pushed us to an IVF, and it was such a hard pill to swallow. It still is, but I have hope, and I'm just gonna keep praying for my husband, and not just that, but just his overall health and him in every aspect, because I can only imagine. I know how I feel going through everything that I go through with the shots and stuff, so I can only imagine how he feels, you know, just taking this information for his own self. So this was our chit chat, you guys. This was the big boom fertility news. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you share this thing out. Make sure that you guys hit up our Facebook pages. We're going to put the information in the video. Make sure you go to these pages. Hit that GoFundMe. You can either share it or you can donate. You can also pray with us. Go onto our page and just hashtag praying for y'all, whatever the case may be. But keep the positive vibes going for us. Keep the praying going for us. Keep on watching our vlogs. Welcome to our new subscribers. And let them know, man, that the Carewz got a vlogging channel.